In this video, I wanted to reflect on and talk a little bit about missing trades. Over the past couple weeks, I've missed a few winning trades. There's probably two in particular that are kind of frustrating, but in general, missing trades is probably one of the most frustrating and annoying things, especially lately, because I feel like I just can't afford to. Like, I can't afford to miss out on 80-point moves. But the reality is, the way I try to tell myself it's okay is that I can't catch every trade. I can't catch every win. There's going to be days I'm not even at the computer and I'm not going to catch big wins. And that's just how it is. On one hand, I'm trying to see it as a good thing. It's a good thing that I didn't take that trade because it's proof. It's proof that I'm not focusing on P&L only. Um, I'm not taking a trade out of FOMO to see maybe it'll work. I don't want to miss the move, and I've really been able to focus on taking A plus trades only and staying out if it's not A plus or if it's not super clear. And I think that's a good thing. On the other hand, I'm still frustrated though. I'm frustrated I'm missing out on these moves. And so I sort of have to ask myself, why is this the case? Why am I missing the move? Why do I feel hesitant? Why do I feel unsure if I should take the trade? So I missed out on a trade today. I identified a potential setup and I did kind of like it. I identified a target, identified my stop and everything. And I was like, I think this meets my criteria, but it's a little unclear. I have one thing on my setup criteria that's a little subjective. And so because I wasn't totally sure of it, I just decided not to take it, which again, it's a good thing to be more selective. It's better to wish you weren't in a trade than to wish you to lose and then wish you weren't, in general. But if it matches your criteria and it's your setup, then there's kind of no reason not to take it. Um, I think. Um, so it then got me thinking that maybe this one thing that's on my setup criteria, maybe it's too subjective. What I found over the last several months was that I think one of the reasons I've been so inconsistent is because my models and criteria were not specific enough. My rules weren't specific enough. I had too much subjectivity and discretion when it came to taking entries. I now have extremely specific models, and I'm looking for specific patterns, and I take that only, but I'm still fine tuning and refining a couple entry criteria. So there's one in particular I'm realizing maybe it's just too subjective because I'm finding myself feeling unsure if I should take the trade. That also comes with a lack of a large sample size. So I have a decent sample size of all the setups that sort of match the specific strategy. But there's a small subset of trades that have this little criteria rule that I'm testing. Um, so there's a couple things that I think I need to work on. So I put the chart into my playbook with the other setups. I went back. I decided let me figure out what the backtest results would be if I didn't have this one rule, and they still seem to be positive. So I think I'm going to eliminate the rule for now and forward test that. So if you find yourself maybe hesitating on a trade, if you find yourself not sure if you should enter, maybe there's a couple ideas there that you could look into. One is your sample size of backtest large enough to give you the confidence to enter? And then two, do you have very clear setup criteria rules? Is there anything in your rules that is too subjective, that uses too much discretion, that you maybe need to define further? What I have found for myself is I cannot have any subjectivity or discretion when it comes to my trading. I honestly don't know how people trade with discretion. And come up with a set of rules where it makes it very clear if it's okay to enter or not. That way, you don't have to fight yourself, convince yourself if you should take a trade or not. Either it meets the criteria or it doesn't. And generally, what I say, if it doesn't clearly meet the criteria, then it just doesn't meet it. It's not a good trade. But in some cases, I do think there can be times where it can be defined even better. So, anyways, just a couple things I've been thinking through after I've been missing a couple trades, and kind of what I found by looking at some of my past trading sessions. So, anyways, just a couple ideas for you if you find yourself hesitating on trades.